So hello and welcome to episode 9 of Utv Villa Podcast. It's a bitterly disappointing evening for all of us, having come so close to getting the 3 points, which would have been crucial. But, I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to get straight on in there. So I'm joined by our first caller of the night, Ryan. How are you?
I'm devastated, mate. I feel, we've lost 2 points there, haven't we? We've dropped 2 points. And I feel the most sickening part of it is because we played quite well, mate. I thought we put in a good shift. I thought we put in a very good performance. And that's the most gutting part about it. And, mate, I was bouncing around my living room when that goal went in. And, you start looking at the future fixtures and, the buzz was there. And such a killer blow. It's such a killer blow, mate.
Again, we've let another lead slip, which... How many times we've done that now? We've played well again, and I know we're not at the stage where it's all about playing well. At the moment, it's all about getting them points, isn't it? And for whatever reason, we've let it slip again. Like you saying, it would have been crucial. But I can't help now but starting to think of looking at the Championship, which I don't want to do, because for me, 2015-16 was purely toxic, right? For everybody. The players, the fans, we all was turning on each other. It was horrific, right? And it doesn't feel like that. If somebody said to me now, how do you feel? I feel gutted, but I don't feel angry. I feel disappointed. And that's my overriding emotion, disappointed. There's been times this season where I've felt exactly like this, right? And I can name you all the games, yeah? And we go back to our first game, Spurs, disappointed. Bournemouth, disappointed. Arsenal, yeah? Liverpool, Wolves didn't show up. All these games, I can name so many times I've walked out of Villa Park and thought, I'm not angry. There's not a word for it. It's just frustrated like hell, and that's how I feel. I mean, how are you feeling?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, look. It has been a complete rollercoaster this season. We've had some great highs. We've had, obviously our cup run. We've had some last-minute winners. We've had some good performances where we just didn't get the results. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. That the season we did go down, I think most of us accepted it by Christmas that time, or certainly by January when we didn't buy anybody that season. And yeah, we are all together at the minute. You've seen the anguish on the players' faces today when that goal went in and at the final whistle. They was as gutted as us. And there is a togetherness within us all. Whereas that season we went down, no, it was a horrible place to be, Villa Park was.
Yeah. I'm with you, but my emotion now, what I'm starting to think of is the players that are going to leave, right? Which is going to kill us, because I know we're getting relegated, but there are still some good players there. What we're going to be left with, and it's like, it's a full circle now, isn't it? We know how difficult it is to get out the Championship for a start. We haven't even come close to even winning the Championship. We've been around the top 6 in the Championship, haven't we? So let's not forget that we haven't been down there before, and we've looked the best team in the league, because we haven't. And it's just like, now the job we've got to do is replace probably all these players. Then what now? Like, what's the plan then? And that's my only thing, which I'm really unsure of, and it makes me a little bit anxious. Like, what do we do now?
I know. Yeah, that is the worry, isn't it? When after a defeat like this and we're all low, but I've come on this podcast for a bit of therapy, Luke.
Okay, I can't give it though.
Listen, mate, I feel it feels horrible now, but is there a miracle still there? Can we go and beat Arsenal? We said a few podcasts ago, didn't we, that we had to beat either Man U, Liverpool or Arsenal.
Yeah.
We need a miracle, mate, and I don't want to look at the Championship just Yeah.
But everybody knows me on here now, right? I'm super positive, right? So I can't say this now, but if we win our next 2 games, right, there's a glimmer, right?
Yeah.
There's a glimmer, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to hope that one of the teams lose tomorrow, and then they get absolutely battered by one of the City sides, and we can somehow go into the last game with some hope.
Yeah, that's all we want, isn't it?
Because let's be honest, I know we've drew today, but we've not lost. We played okay. We played decent. Let's just hope somehow we can miracle something, but it's very unlikely. And I wasn't going to do this podcast today because I just thought it would be too negative. But I just think as a fan base now, because we are all together and we all are more of a unit together, I think, as a fan base, that we stick together. We don't start slating everybody left, right and centre, and that we just somehow stick together. When we can get down at Villa Park, we all do so, and we'll come back stronger. Because let's be honest, right? We can't have this type of season ever again, what we've done. Money-wise, splashing it on all these players, getting promoted with half a team to start with. Because the overriding thing is, that's what slightly killed us as well. We're together, but there doesn't feel like the team was to start with, which was the problem. All over the pitch. I know we had like Mings and McGinn and Grealish that were all over the pitch. We're not, and I feel like if I had to summarise the season and say how I felt, how many times have you walked out down them steps down the Holt End, right? And you can't put a word on how you feel because your mind is blown at what you've just watched.
Yeah.
Take yourself back to Tottenham at home.
I was just about to bring that one up.
Right.
Tottenham at home.
Now, how you felt then is probably how you feel right now.
Exactly. Good performance, and it just gets away from us. No.
There's no word to describe how you're feeling because it's just.
Well, I think you're right. There is a more togetherness. Look, I've been a season ticket holder since 93, 94, and I've never known a waiting list for Villa season tickets.
No.
And sellouts every week. Even under Martin O'Neill, there was never a waiting list.
No.
So there is a togetherness of us there, but yeah, like I say, I think it's just like a mental block coming into that last 15 minutes. And the commentators are there going, oh, yeah, the stats are coming up. We've dropped 19 points from winning positions. We've lost 17 goals in the last 15 minutes. Al Ghazi misses that chance and they're going, oh, is this going to cost the Villa? It just, it's gutting, mate. It's
one of them, though, where there's a pattern, There's a pattern here, right? That guy on Sky Sports with them stats, he's got his finger on that button, right, waiting to press them stats to come up because he knows it's coming. Yeah,
it's all too often, isn't it? It's happened all season.
That stat of goals conceded in the last 15 minutes, he'll press that in the next 5 minutes, right? It's just a reoccurring thing. Like we'll totally love Villa. Yeah, we absolutely love them. Yeah, we die-hard fans. We bleed claret and blue. But fundamentally, we've got to start to get these things right. And what I'm trying to say is, when we have a plan, we go to phase 2 of the plan. The plan gets better and better. Mm-hmm. What we seem to do is have a plan, right? Fails. We have another plan. It fails. And we have another plan. Do you see what I mean?
We've got to learn. If we do go down, we've got to learn from when we went down before. We were talking about plans for every captain in the Championship and the top goal scorer of the Championship. That failed. Next plan, John Terry. That failed. Next plan, low knees. It worked. Great. Get up to the Premier League.
It's failed now.
It's failed now. So if we do go back down, we've got to put a 2-3 year plan in place and build. We spoke about building on foundations and foundations. We need to put the foundations in properly this time.
Yeah. But it would worry me that we've not even thought about this.
No. Well, the owners haven't really had a chance, really, have they?
No.
They come in at the end of the right and deadline day, didn't they, last year? And we went on that great run and got promoted. And it's just been whirlwind, hasn't it, for them owners to come in? They haven't really had a chance their feet to touch the ground. So their first real intake of breath is going to be this summer.
Do you know what I feel like
division we're in depends.
Next time we get new owners, I feel like we need to do the fit and proper test.
Definitely, yeah.
Right? I'll sit down with you in the art end, right? And I'll tell you what's about to happen. I'll tell you the roller coaster you're going to go on. And then you tell me whether you want to buy it or not.
Yeah.
Just so we can...
That's it.
Just so we can pre-warn them. But no, I'll just keep this one short and sweet with you today, Ryan, because, we've got some more callers on, and I guess it's going to be a bit of a therapy session.
Yes, yeah, definitely, mate.
Thanks for coming on anyway, mate. Hopefully I'll talk to you in the next few days about positivity.
Yeah, we can look forward to Arsenal, can't we?
Cool.
There was a few positives, Luke. Douglas Luiz, McGinn looking better. The midfield was great.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
Right, I'll speak to you soon, mate.
All right, mate. Catch you later.
Bye. So, joined by bitterly disappointed Seb tonight. So, what did you make of it?
Look, we were good today. We were good today. We held our own. We played some good football, and we should have been talking about 3 points.
Yeah.
We should have been sat here talking about how Villa won the game, how it's down to a point, and we should have been talking about how Villa are staying up. We should have been. We've let go of such a huge opportunity. I can't help but feeling just empty.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna come on here and pretend to you. Okay, I'm not gonna fake how I'm feeling. I know I've been negative most weeks, but I'm just sick of it. I can't fault the players today.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we played badly, but we should have won. We should have come away with 3 points. We've let that opportunity slip by us. Could end up costing us a place in the Premier League. It's just demoralising, Luke. That's the word, demoralising.
I'm totally with you. I think as a season as a whole, we've dropped over 20 points from leading positions this season. Right? 20 points. That is huge. If we took 10 of them, we'd be comfortable mid-table. It's a reoccurring...
Luke, I'd be happy taking 3 of them. Yeah. I'd be happy with 3 of them.
I was feeling a bit...
Anything.
Like, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but our game management's awful. It is really bad.
Yeah.
We can't seem to... We get ourselves in good positions by good fortune or by genuinely playing well, and then we throw it away. El Ghazi, how he hasn't put us 2-0 up, okay, is a talk for another day, because if I get into El Ghazi, you're going to have to bring out your bleep machine and you're not going to want to do that, okay?
No.
We get ourselves into a good position, okay? We look as though we're going to maybe see out the game, maybe even get our first clean sheet away from home of the season. But it's Aston Villa we're talking about, and I don't know what else I expected at this point. It's just so upsetting.
I mean, it's that whole thing that, it's not even that we don't even want to play well. We just need the points. And it was just so disappointing to see that we took the lead and, we've worked so hard to get to this position of being 1-0 up away from home, going into the next 2 games. Mate, I'd have said to you, we'll stay up. 100%. I'd be like, it's with us. We're going to do this. And knowing how crucial that was to throw that away, and we'd still got that flaky underbelly of just chucking it again. It's just so disappointing and frustrating. And, we have seen the fight in the last 2 games. We've looked totally better. We've looked like we knew we had to go out and get these points. And, up until, Con's in brilliant. And it's just left us flat now. I'd say we've got a 10% chance of still staying up. I'd give us 10%. We've now just got to beat Arsenal, got to beat West Ham, and hope somehow we can do it. And that's what we've got to do. But today was the day for me that we just had to do it, and I'm just now disappointed, starting to think Championship, here we come. I think I know how are you feeling now. Then are you totally done with it? Are we gone?
Look, I'm not going to be around the edge. Okay, I could sit here and say today, limits our opportunities, but our opportunities were limited a while back.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not today that got us relegated.
No.
Okay. Whether it's confirmed or not, I don't want any fans sitting there and saying, oh yeah, but we're gonna go and beat Arsenal and we're gonna go and beat West Ham, because we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the reality of things. We're not. Okay. Yeah. Some people need to open their eyes a bit and realise that we're Aston Villa here. Yeah. Okay. All the Liverpool fans and the Man City fans, all those going, oh yeah, we win every week, it's so good, it's so easy. We can't do that. Okay, we've had to fight for every single win we've got this season, and it might still not be enough. And I do think we've been relegated, but I don't think it's today that the reason we've gone down. The reason we've gone down is that run from after the Watford victory at Villa Park up until the season got temporarily stopped. We were so poor. We don't deserve to stay in this division because we haven't had enough of those good performances to push us through, to push us outside the relegation zone. You look at West Ham, you look at Watford, you look at Brighton, all the teams that possibly could stay up, they've had those surprise results going their way. They've had those victories where they've genuinely gritted their teeth in and gone and won the game to put themselves in.
Yeah. Well, we can't even do that against Everton.
We haven't been able to put ourselves in exactly that game against Everton today. Well, 5 minutes ago sums up our season. They go and give us hope. We get ourselves into a good position, and then we throw it away and we bottle it. We really do.
You got the right prop today.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Do you know what though?
Yeah.
Do you know what though? It's like 2015, right? It was absolutely horrific to be a Villa fan, right? It was horrific. But I don't feel that. I don't sit here now feeling the same as that, because we've known what it's like to go down, and we've done that. But I feel like I'm more let down this time. I'm not angry at how bad we've played or how bad we've been. I feel let down by the performances all the time. Games like today, let down. Games like Liverpool at home, let down. Tottenham at home, let down. I'll keep going. Arsenal away, let down. Tottenham away, let down. Do you know what I mean? All these games.
The list is as long as your arm.
Exactly. So we've had to deal with this all season, and it's been a constant thing. And I think because now we've got to the end of the season and we are still doing it, like you said, we don't deserve to stay up. Let's be honest. We all love Aston Villa, but we have been woeful. absolutely woeful at times, and it's just so frustrating. But I'm not sad that we've gone down, because part of me feels like we actually deserve to go down, and that's the bottom line. Like, I'm as optimistic as they come. Like, I will look for every single positive, but we aren't good enough, are we? You know, Samatta up front is not good enough. We don't have a striker. And that's the bottom line. I know Wesley's injured, fair enough, and he could have got the goals, but I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing heart, and I'm not seeing fight in all those performances. You said from Watford, right? Where was this level of fight that we've showed in the last sort of 2 games? Where was that in February? It just wasn't there, and that's the thing. Like, I can see how like gutted you are about it, but you know, we've just simply not shown enough, and we just can't. You know, you can't be too down about it, because you've been there watching Villa all season, and it's been a reoccurring thing. So moving on to, say, Arsenal, I mean, the players are going to feel like that's a loss today. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of Watford, West Ham?
I look. I might get stick for this, but I don't care.
Yeah,
It's just you made quite a few good points there, so I'll go back to one in each of them individually. 2015, we are nowhere near the level of shambles and complete. I don't even know the word for it.
yeah.
The
There's not a
complete
word.
turnover the club was going through then.
Yeah,
There's not a word to describe that season in 2015. It was a complete and utter shambles and
yeah,
an embarrassment to the fan base. We're nowhere near that level. Okay, we can see some of the players care. We can see that at least, if not they're winning games, they're fighting, and we can see that they care. But so that's one positive to take. We won't need the complete and utter rebuild that we did in 2015. Yes, we'll need a good few amount of players in the
yeah,
summer to, or even challenge to come back up. But I don't think it's the level of wipe everyone out,
yeah,
because we haven't been that bad this season. Okay, the second point you made about the players and how we've been playing this season, we have let ourselves down ultimately. We
yeah,
got back up, and people are saying it's a year too early, and I completely agree. It is a year too early, because we weren't ready. We can't build a squad on 150 million when it's been
no,
spent around
yeah,
that many players. You know, we've gone over transferness on the podcast before, so I'm not going to get into that again. It's not. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
yeah.
It's
That's
that
how I
typical
feel.
parent line that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
drop you.
yeah.
It's just gutting. I've had to come outside today. You haven't seen me outside before, because
No,
I don't want to cause too much noise in the house, too much stir, because I know otherwise I will just explode, go off
yeah,
on one, because
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. My dog's coming out here because he's heard that I'm upset. But this football club means so much to everyone,
Yeah,
as does every other football club. Don't get me wrong, but I feel as though we've been in this position too many times before. Hello, Barney,
hey,
and not learn from our bad
yeah,
experiences. It feels like, if you'd started this podcast sooner, I could have been sitting here with you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times on end, talking about the same mistakes, the same missed opportunities, and the same regrets coming
yeah.
out of every season.
You
We're
feel,
dropping down to Wickham next season. I can't wait to see you at Wickham
yeah,
away. You know, at least we'll be able to see a proper showing with a proper ground, a proper fan
yeah.
base, and at least we might be able to enjoy our season again.
Do you feel like we always get to the same, like you were saying, we always get to the same position of failure because we never entirely see the plan through? It's like since our new owners came in, Perslow came in, we sacked Bruce and got Smith. It was a wave, wasn't it? Right, and like you say, look at our squad compared to Sheffield United's. Right, the money that we've made to make our squad to the money that they've spent to make their squad. Right,
Yeah.
we're a different level. Right, they've probably spent not even a quarter. Right, but then we had to do that because we didn't have enough players, basically. But what I'm trying to say is we need to start seeing the plan all the way through now. So if we do go down, we do stick with certain people, right? And we build and we go again and we add to what we've already got. And hopefully we can grow and get better and better. But my worry is now what's going to happen is half the players are going to go. We're going to sack Suso. We're going to probably get rid of Perslow. We're going to get rid of Dean Smith, right? And then what plan are we doing now? What plan do we go down then? Is it youth? Are we going to, have a new sporting director? What's the vision? And then we start again. And it's just like over and over again. All these different plans just all end up failing. We've got to somehow regroup and stick to a foundation of what we want to do. And that's the bottom line. We need to do it and we need to bounce back again. But I can't see us getting rid of all these players now, right? And then getting a load of championship players in, and then they're not good enough if we end up getting promoted again, and we're back to square one again. That's my worry. That is my worry.
Okay. Yeah, Luke, I see where you're coming from, okay? But with the Suso thing, he has to go.
Oh, yeah.
We can't keep Suso at this football club any longer.
No.
Christian Perslow, I'd be happy for him to stay. I don't think he's one of the reasons we need to change within this football club.
Yeah.
Obviously, people can have their different opinions on Smith. And again, that's not something I'm going to get into today because otherwise this podcast could be 3 hours long. But what I'm going to say is we've got another almost change coming at Aston Villa this season. Under the circumstances, whether we go down, whether we stay up, we're not going to stay up, we're going to go down. But whatever will happen, we are going to see a lot of change. And we need to make sure that for the first time in a long while, this football club has a plan. It executes it not only well, but quickly.
Yeah.
We also have to make sure that within that plan of the squad overhaul, what we do with the manager, wage budget, etc., academy, who we play next season, etc., etc., it needs to be done efficiently, quickly, and without any holes in it. I don't want you to come back to me next season and go, we did this really well, did this really well, did this really well, but the reason we were let down is because of this.
Yeah.
We can't have that one thing letting us down anymore. Yeah. Villa has to become a football club where we sort of take the reins and we know what we're doing and we plan and we plan and we plan. Because that's what happens with the best clubs. Sheffield United, they went up. They didn't go and buy whoever they could. They stuck with their plan. Yeah. They stuck with Chris Wilder. They stuck with who got them there in the first place. And look at what they're doing. Okay, they're making success out of nothing. I go back to Leicester 2015-16. They didn't go out. Okay, they bought the odd few players, but they didn't go out and spend completely because they just survived relegation. They stuck with the majority of that squad and they went on to win the league. And look, I'm not going to say Villa's going to stay up and win the league.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, I don't think any Villa fan in the world could say that if they're not on some sort of drug. But I just ask for Aston Villa to be a club that knows what they're doing and does it efficiently and doesn't sit there and ponder on decisions and end up regretting it and letting the fans down, because that's what they've done this season. Ultimately, if we fall short, when we fall short, they will have let the fans down. And I think credit to the fans. They've stuck with them through this hard time of not going to be able to go to games, and they've stuck with them and they've pushed them right till the very end, but we've just fallen short.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to sort of show in the summer that we mean business. I'm not going to say we're going to come straight back up, because maybe it wouldn't be best for us to come straight back up.
Yeah.
God, I'd like us to be promoted straight away. But we need to make sure that when we do come up, we have that good, strong core. And we don't need to go out and spend 10, 11 players again. We need to make sure the squad we have in the Championship, is good enough to carry us over the line into the Premier League, so we can add that little glimpse of quality.
This is what I was saying. Build the foundation, and we don't need to do what we've already done.
Exactly.
We did so well from 2015 to the start of this season. Villa Park, full, right? The optimism was there. We did so well to get that back. And what I just don't want us to do now, right, is do what we did last time, right? We go down, we're mediocre, we settle for mediocre, right? The next season, we start off bang average. All we want to do then is make the playoffs, right?
I am listening,
All we do then is want to make the playoffs, and we forget about even trying and win a league. And then do you see what I mean? The mentality when we go down, it's got to be we win the league or we get automatic. Yeah, and that's the mindset I want. I don't want us to think about, it's nice just playing in the playoffs and if we get there, we get there. No, the mentality changes from this moment. Okay, I know it's been a bit of a long up and down podcast journey today.
No. I'm glad this happened, because I couldn't have sat in my room any longer just by myself thinking about the missed opportunities we've missed out on. I genuinely, I think without this podcast, I would have probably stayed up till the early hours of the morning without my phone, without my laptop, just sat on my bed thinking what could have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm so grateful that you've offered me this opportunity back on again. And I'm sorry, I might not, obviously I see I've been getting some comments recently, positive comments, and I'm sorry if I haven't been my usual chirpy, normal self, but I can't sit here and pretend. I can't sit here and act in front of the camera. I have to portray just how upset I am.
And I think it's justified, and I think there's a lot of Villa fans that are going to be feeling the same. But my message now would be, let's just deal with it now. I'm a very positive sort of guy, so I just think we can be all down that we're getting relegated, but let's just think it's only football. It's not the end of the world, and we've gone down and come back before. We're going to have to do it again, and hopefully we're in a better place for it. Because let's be honest, I don't want us to keep having to spend £150 million on 12, 11, 10 players, because
I'm sure our owners don't either.
It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So hopefully we reap the rewards in the long run. So thanks for your call, Seb.
No really worries. Good. Look, just before we go, I just want to say to anyone listening to the podcast today that with these last two games, Arsenal at home, West Ham away, even though we can't be there, just almost take a step back, and instead of criticising and going, full blow to the hammer, criticising this, criticising that, moaning about this, I just want fans to just take a minute and just realise this could be Jack Grealish's last two games for Aston Villa Football Club. This could be John McGinn's last two games, Douglas Luiz, etc., etc. So please, can we just appreciate the job that Jack has done for this football club? And can we just admire him for the last 180 minutes of Premier League football that we've got? Can we please just almost look at what he's done for us and how lucky we are to have him in a Villa shirt this season. I want to look at the end of this season and go, you know what? We've not done well, but Jack Grealish, we made that.
Yeah.
We created that.
Yeah. I'm with you. I know it's going to be sad to see him if he does, when he does go, not being in a Villa shirt. But thanks for your call, mate. It's been great.
No worries. Speak to you soon.
So we're joined by our second caller of the night, Chris. How do you feel like the game went and the performance?
It was a good performance overall, really. It's just, again, another case of just frustration because, scoring a goal at what was a decent time with 15 minutes to go. And then, again, we've had chances that El Ghazi miss. That's the one, really.
Yeah.
I think that kind of just sums up our season, really. The number of games we've had where players have missed chances.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I watched a clip the other day. It was a stat about Matt Targett. I think he's the third most creative fullback in the league, behind Trent and Robertson. And there was a video of him, the chances he's created, and El Ghazi missed a hell of a lot of them. And again, it's the same kind of thing. And I think it's a mental thing more than anything. The ball's come across, and you just got to kind of get a proper because you look at the replay, he hasn't really got a proper contact on it, and it's gone up in the air. And I think, if he'd gone for it, committed, got his head on it, or decided what he was going to do, volley it in, actually committed and got on the end of it, that would have been a goal. But again, I think he's the ball's come across, and he's had a look at the keeper. He's been worried about where the keeper is, where the defender is, rather than getting on the end of the ball and putting it in. If he'd got a proper contact, that's a goal, or no one's stopping that. And it's just frustrating. And then the goal to concede, 87th minute. Again, it's so frustrating because it's not even, it's a half chance almost. It comes to Walcott, and it's not even a decent header, and it loops, and it's. I suppose you can question the positioning of Reina, maybe Konza as well. But I just think it was one of them. Ball came in. I don't think anyone expected that, to create a chance from that, especially with it being Walcott as well.
Yeah.
He's not known for his aerial prowess or anything like that. It's frustrating. I think more so. I think if we'd have drawn that 0-0, I think people would have been positive in terms of it's a good performance. At least it's not a defeat. But I think because we had, we almost had those 3 points.
Yeah.
Or, coming home with 3 points, which would have been massive. I think that's the most frustrating thing. It almost feels like a defeat because those 3 points were there to be had, and Everton didn't really cause any problems.
No.
I can't think of a save that Rangers had to make, and then that goal at the end. It was always going to be tough coming into these last few games because we had so much to do. We beat Palace. Then obviously this game, it was kind of, this was the one that you'd have said, get something here because Arsenal seem to have hit some form and they are, they're playing all right at the moment. Yeah. They're going to be buzzing after beating Liverpool. So I think a lot of people would have said, beat Everton, then you could kind of take a loss against Arsenal and then like winner takes all possibly against West Ham, or possibly we win and we could overtake Watford, maybe go into the last game. But it just puts us back on the kind of back foot again, I suppose. It's just frustrating because I think overall, I suppose you probably just El Ghazi. Apart from that, really, everyone played pretty well. Samatta was hit and miss. Davies did pretty well when he came on. I think he just troubled them a bit more at the back, those two centre halves. I think because they're big guys. Samatta's not really quick enough and he's quite small, so I think they dealt with him quite well. But when Davies came on, it gave him something to think about. I think that was the right sub to make, but it's just really frustrating because those 3 points would have been massive, in terms of such a big step. And it just feels like a loss.
Yeah,
I think you look at
I'm with you. I think the word frustration is our whole season in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've played well, lost, took the lead, lost. You know, I've just seen a little stat that we've dropped 21 points from leading positions this season. 21 points. That's huge.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
But that's a reoccurring trait that we've got, and we just can't get over the line for whatever reason. And like you're saying, like we played well, and I think what you were saying about getting the win today as well, it sort of would have set us up a little bit better, wouldn't it? You know, we've got the foundation then to have a proper good go for them 2 remaining games. Now I don't even know what to think at the minute about it. Do you think it's over for us now?
It's just so tough because that 3 points tonight, and it would have just taken the pressure off slightly. But now it's kind of, we have to win those last 2 games, unless you know there's a hell of a lot that would need to go in our favour. I suppose both scenarios, but more so if we weren't to win those 2 games, you know, then we need a hell of a lot to go in our favour to turn it around. Whereas a win today, you know, you could have maybe, you know, like I said, got away with not beating Arsenal and then going to the West Ham game. And I mean, I'm just hoping. It just seems like, especially after the Palace game, getting that win, they did seem a bit more confident today. I know going forward, I suppose at times we're a bit reserved, which is understandable because you know you don't want to concede. But the midfield, especially, we controlled it. In all fairness, and it was good to see McGinn getting back into things. It just does feel a bit too late, because I think the main thing is that with it being out of our hands, you know, 2 wins would be amazing, and you'd imagine that would be it. And it, you know, probably it's just, you know, getting 2 wins when we've won 2 games all year, I think, in the league, or 2 or 3. To get 2 in the next 2 games, the pressure's on. It's massive. Arsenal decent, and I suppose West Ham have kind of turned a bit of a corner as well. It's just I'm so undecided. I was really, to be honest, a couple of weeks ago, especially after the United game, I was like, no, we're definitely down. There's just too much to do. And then, you know, as so often with Villa, they give you the hope, and we got the hope against Palace. And you just think, after that game, and I think you said the other day, didn't you? You know, the hope. I feel it now. I feel it, and you think, because you look at that and you think, it's great, 3 points. It's a good performance. It's a clean sheet. Everton, obviously, they were quite poor against Wolves, and you think, we can get something there. And today, we almost had it, and it just feels like there's just so much to do.
It's horrible watching other teams as well, isn't it? You know, like tomorrow night we've got West Ham, Watford. You know, I'm watching that now, thinking, I think I want West Ham to win.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because it's an odd one, because a lot of the other games I watched Bournemouth, Man City last night. And obviously, getting towards the end of the game, thinking, oh my God, I don't want Bournemouth to get a point here.
Yeah.
But you're watching these games, and a lot of the time, you just want a team to lose. But then those 2, obviously, they're 2 of our rivals at the bottom. It's almost like any result could be good. But I think I'm with you. I think a West Ham win, I think probably because Watford's goal difference is not far off ours. So a West Ham win, and then Watford, I think they got
Man City.
Have they got City?
Yeah, and then Arsenal.
Yeah, so, you know, you're hoping there that, again, but that's the thing, you kind of look at those games, I suppose, with especially because, West Ham have got United as well, haven't they? So I suppose you say with their next games, after they've played each other, you'd imagine and you'd expect that the Manchester clubs would get the wins.
Yeah.
It's never that straightforward, is it? Especially at the bottom of the table.
Like, I don't want to look like a deluded Villa fan now and start saying I still believe we can stay up. But I said on the last episode, I won't stop believing until there's an R next to our name, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can think of now. The only hope we've got is that if West Ham win, in my opinion, Watford then lose to City. We have to beat Arsenal. One game at a time. We beat Arsenal, and then it's a shootout on that last day. That's the only hope we've got.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, to be fair. I think it just gives us that bit extra. I think that we'd go into the West Ham game, I think, a point behind Watford.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, in theory, then we'd have.
We'd go level. We'd go level, wouldn't we? We level on points, but obviously our goal difference is worse.
Yeah, so you'd hope that with Watford having a couple of defeats against West Ham and then Man City, and then with us hopefully getting something against Arsenal. Again, there's lots of ifs, but
we're
getting something there. We've sorted it. That's it.
I know.
It's done.
I know.
I
just really don't want to think about the Championship too much.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I just think, when we went down in 2016, and I think it was such a shock for everybody because, most people had, Villa have been in the Premier League and there'd have been the odd relegation battle, but it never seemed like we were going to go down. And we went down. It was so terrible. And then again, I think it was, we gone down. Yeah, we'll come straight back. And then to not come straight back, and then to be down there for 3 years. Okay, it's exciting, but it's just not the same. It's not the Premier League, it makes such a difference, and it'd be such a disappointment to go down. Just because it's not the Premier League. Yeah. And I said at the start of the season, I said, if we can stay up, I appreciate that a big issue for us this season has been the turnover, the players that have gone and the players that have come in. But I always said, if we could stay up, then it's not a case of having to buy 10, 11 players. No. You can buy 2, 3 players at 15, 20 million proper quality players to build around the squad and just to help. You could almost go and get a quality centre-half, quality striker, quality midfielder, and then build around that, have a good spine. Because I think that's what we've lacked this season, that experience. You look at, you go for the team, and we were all very optimistic starting the season. When we go for the team and you look and you think, Mings and Engels it was to start with, and obviously it's more recently you've had Mings, Hawes, Mings, Konza. There's no real Premier League experience there.
No.
Mings has played in the Prem, but not a lot. Goalkeeper-wise, having Heaton was massive, I think. Obviously, he's a top goalkeeper, but his experience was key. His injury killed us. And I think even though Wesley wasn't experienced, I get the impression that because he was an early signing, that Dean Smith had kind of built the team almost around him, or our attacking play around him. No, his injuries just killed us. And I just think if we could have stayed up, to build on that team, that would be massive. And it's just, I just don't want to think about the Championship. No. It's just,
it's just that full circle again, isn't it, of what we're about to go through. We're at the same scenario basically. Although I feel like this time we're going to be losing even better players than last time. I know some of them went to like bigger and better things, but you look at the likes of Jack, McGinn, Mings, Douglas Luiz. I feel like they're going to be very good players for some top teams. And it's like we go full circle now, back into another league. Who are we going to sign? Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got to sign a new team. And what's the plan then? Do you know what I mean? And that's the issue.
Yeah, you'd just be going back to square one, wouldn't it? Because say those players leave, and regardless of what money we get for those players, which would be a hell of a lot, for just those 4 players.
Yeah,
you can't in the Championship. You can't you could go and get some quality players, but realistically, we couldn't go out there and get some top quality players like we could in the Premier League. So, we might get some top end Championship players, or some players might come in for abroad or something that might be decent. But again, it's an issue that if we got promoted, we've got to do it again. We've got to strengthen. Because that's the issue. And I think I'll use, say, Calvin Phillips, for example, a really good midfielder. Say if Leeds are going to go up. Say if Leeds didn't go up, and we were like, okay, we're going to go for top end Championship players. You're looking at 25, 30 million.
Yeah, definitely.
For that, for proper top end players that might have the opportunity to step up. And I doubt we'd kind of spend that. And then again, you'd be looking at semi-decent players that might do a job in the Championship. Again, then you get promoted back to square one again,
exactly.
get players in. And I think that's such a big issue, because then it's not only is it a case of, right, okay, we've got to adapt to the Premier League, but then you've got, okay, well, we've got half a team here that've got to adapt to England, the Midlands, the Premier League, the new players, everything like that. And it's so many things you've got to deal with, rather than, it's so hard though to go up and adapt. But I'm with you. When we went down, there was a lot of players that left that were good, and now have gone on to do good things for good teams and stuff like that. But in terms of their impact on us, it didn't really impact us that much, because they weren't really in the side. Whereas you're losing 4 first-team players, maybe more, and it would just, it would be hard. And again, it's just that.
Forget about again the impact that it's probably had on some of the players that we are going to be left with, like Konsa, for example. Confidence-wise for him, how's he going to take it? That's what we've also got to think of. Although I think he's probably going to be a good Championship central defender, it's that he's a relegated player. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's sort of like on his CV now, in the back of his mind, and it's not like he's still like an up and coming, really good central defender. That's my vibe. But I feel like even though we're going to lose good players, we're still going to be hindered with the ones that we're slightly left with, which is going to be a worry for me. Like we said, it's just that full sort of circle of going back through and thinking of what is to come, because we all know what is going to happen, don't we? We all know Grealish is going to go. And it's the thought of that, to be honest, that I can deal with getting relegated, because it's like in your job. If you're not good enough, right, you'll get the sack and you won't work there. And deep down whether you've done a good enough job or not. So I can deal with getting relegated, but I just can't get my head around what it's going to be like for us to have to just watch this all unfold now, bids coming in and all that. So that's my worst thing. So moving on to Arsenal then. Have we got any chance?
I mean, I think bottom line with this one, with against Arsenal, their defence, you have a chance. They will give you a chance. It's just that I think at the moment they've had a few decent performances. They beat Wolves. They beat Liverpool. They got a point at Leicester. So they've been doing all right. And obviously they've got, attacking wise, they've got some really, really good players. So I just think with Arsenal, they give you that chance, especially defensively. I'm hoping that I'm not sure if they've got much to play for. I think they were hoping on the Man City ruling going the way it should have gone, and that they could have maybe got in 8th place. I think they're 9th at the moment, possibly. So I mean, it's going to be tough. It's Arsenal. Arsenal's always tough. I suppose over the year, you kind of know, say Man United, for example, you know what you're going to get when we play Man United. We can never beat them. Arsenal over the years, we've had some decent performances against. I mean, in all fairness, this season, we played really, really well against them at their place. You look back at the 2 goals we scored against Arsenal, they were 2 of the best goals we scored all season.
Wesley won. Grealish won. Brilliant.
Ran the 2 very different goals, but both brilliant. The Grealish running basically from the halfway line, gets it across, lovely finish. The John McGinn, the first goal, we were passing it around.
That running
must have been
brilliant.
Brilliant. 2 really good goals, and then it was almost as if I'm pretty sure every goal we conceded in that game was a direct error that we've made, and you just think, I remember that game. I couldn't believe we'd lost that game.
The 60 odd we've conceded.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, it was like the last home game we went to, Spurs. At the end of that game, I was walking away just thinking, how haven't we got anything?
Yeah, look, that's the thing, though. That's how I feel right now. Like, you come away and you're not even angry. You just can't believe what you've just seen. Like, there's no words for it. We need to invent our own word after a Villa loss, because I don't know what it's called. I just don't know what it is.
It's just, isn't it? dropped off not like. But how many times has that happened? It's just frustrating. But I'd say Arsenal, we could get something. And to be fair, even before lockdown, when I looked at the games that we had left, I think I probably said Arsenal at home get something.
Yeah.
But it's got to the point we've got to get something. And we can't lose.
Yeah.
We lose, and that is going to be, that's curtains pretty much. A point, I suppose, could help us, because I suppose if you go into the last game, you could overhaul.
Yeah.
Watford. I mean, a win would be obviously massive. So I think they've just got to approach the game how they have done, tonight. And I suppose against Palace, it's different because you'd expect Arsenal to get more possession, a lot more possession than us.
You'd expect the errors on our front then, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's the thing sometimes, I think, because they have the possession. It's almost like we switch off when teams have a lot of possession.
That's my worry. Whenever a team has possession, you just know we're gonna give something away. And they've got quality up front, haven't they? So anyway, mate, it's been great talking to you. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.